John Eastman says he innocent and tells us that if he is guilty of anything. This boldly giving legal advice to Donald Trump. Eastman was a little-known law professor who found himself at the center of history. Among the architects of President Trump's effort to stay in power. One of the judges described Eastman's strategy as a blow in the search for legal theory. Today, Eastman faces 9 crimes in the election conspiracy case in Georgia. And we saw that he still gave bold legal advice. This time to yourself. When faced with years of imprisonment, he agreed to speak to us. John Eastman: the first advice I received when I brought my legal team together was that we didn't talk about anything at normal times. This is the correct advice that lawyers should give to criminal defendant clients. But I soon decided that this fight was more about criminal law, private law, and a public fight. We didn't do anything wrong. It is important to counter false narratives on this issue because all my actions are designed to investigate the illegalness in the elections and see if they have an impact. 63-year-old John Eastman graduated from University Chicago Law School, was the clerk of Supreme Court Judge Clarence Thomas, and was Dean Chapman University Law School in California. He looks at world from the far right and says that political left is an existential threat. John Eastman: we no longer agree on ways to achieve common goals. The two parties that basically disagree about the goals and objectives of our government have wings. Scott Pelley You said existential. John Eastman: I think it is existential. I think what we are seeing now in the criminalization political opposition and the threat of closing statements opposing political views means that people are no longer responsible for management. In November 2020, Eastman participated in an effort to persuade Rudy Giuliani's 7 states, Joe Biden, not to revoke the certificate of victory. John Eastman and Rudy Giuliani. CBS News: Rudy Giuliani: at the hearing there is a lot of evidence to convince you that this election is stolen. Eastman testified to lawmakers in Georgia via Zoom. He said state election officials did not comply with the law, and he denied suspected allegations, including the votes of 2,500 criminals and 10,000 dead people. John Eastman during the statement: something is going wrong here, and the legislature needs to investigate, as you did at this hearing today. However, no state agreed to prevent the approval of its votes. The 50 Trump trial was failing. By January, the deadline was approaching. On January 6, voter votes of states are counted before joint session of Congress. The Constitution appoints the Vice President to open all certificates and count the votes later. However, 2 days before the census, Eastman came to this Oval Office meeting with a radical interpretation of these words. Vice President said that Pence has authority to stop census and return votes to states.